Finding the perfect Chicago suburb in 2025 feels impossible. But what if I told you one village checks almost every box? Top schools, easy commute, and that small town charm that everyone's chasing. Frankfort. It isn't cheap, but homes are flying off the market here. So why are all the buyers still lining up? Let's break down what it's really like to live here. Frankfort isn't your cookie cutter suburb. It's this cool village with about 20,000 people that somehow nails that small town feel while still having everything you need. I can't tell you how many clients I've had who worried that they'd miss Chicago, then called me a month later saying that they're obsessed with Frankfort. I'm one of them. Yeah, I moved here last year and I'm absolutely obsessed with this place. Location-wise, you're looking at about 30 miles southwest of downtown Chicago. Yeah, that sounds far on paper, but here's the thing. You've got easy access to I-80 and I-57, so you can absolutely still get downtown for work in 45 minutes if you need to. A lot of people are on that hybrid schedule now anyway. But what really makes Frankfort pop? The downtown is absolute fire. You've got these gorgeous historic buildings from the 1800s that they fixed up for modern shops and restaurants. It's got old school charm with a new school feel. Frankfort basically comes down to three big things. Killer schools, more on that in a bit, tons of other stuff for families to do, and that amazing downtown area. So many suburbs feel like they're missing a center, but Frankfort just nails it. And the parks here, next level. Frankfort is serious about green space. We're not talking about those sad little playground setups that some suburbs try to pass off as parks. These are legit, beautiful parks with trails, sports fields, the works. Now that you've got the basics, let's dig into what's really drawing people to Frankfort and what it's like to actually live here. Let's start with the lifestyle, because a lot of people think it's pretty amazing, and honestly, I agree. I talked to someone who moved here recently from the city of Chicago last year, and he said, John, the best part of Frankfort is I get peace and quiet and things to do without having to drive into Chicago. After living here myself, I totally get it. Now, downtown Frankfort is where it's at. It's not huge, and honestly, that's what makes it special. Instead of a million chain stores, you get these cool boutiques and local restaurants that give the place real character. If you're into food, you've got to check out Fat Rosie's. Seriously amazing tacos and tequila. Their margaritas alone are worth the trip. Then there's Trails Edge Brewing Company. Such a cool spot. Great food too. I've had several people tell me they've met up with friends there every week. And if you want an upscale sushi restaurant, Senso is your spot. Perfect for date nights or taking out the family. There's also Italian down the street at Francesca's. The food scene here checks every box. But Frankfort's not just about eating and shopping. The parks here are incredible. Commissioner's Park is massive. We're talking 50 to 60 acres with walking trails, sports fields, and playgrounds that'll make your kids forget about the iPad. And that's not all. You've also got Old Plank Road Trail. It's this 22-mile converted railroad track that runs right through town. Perfect for biking, walking, whatever. I rode part of it last summer and it was gorgeous. Tons of shade and super well maintained. Now, when you need your Target fix or big grocery stores, Route 30 and LaGrange Road has you covered. All the major stores and chains are there, but I've got to be honest with you, the traffic on LaGrange between 4 and 6 p.m., total nightmare. Locals know all the back routes, and you will too if you move here. But what really makes Frankfort special isn't just the places, it's the events that bring everyone together. And that's where this town really shines. Before we dive in, I'm John Sintich. I've helped hundreds of families find the right home in Chicago and the South Suburbs. So if you're new here, I make videos all about what it's really like to live in the Chicagoland area. So if you're thinking about making a move, hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Worried suburban life might be boring? Yeah, that's what I thought too, and that's what everyone thinks before they move here. But Frankfort's event calendar is packed year-round. The big one is Fall Fest in September. This isn't some little neighborhood block party. We're talking hundreds of thousands of people, amazing food vendors from all over Chicago, multiple stages with live music, carnival rides, beer tents, tons of stuff for kids. I take my family there every year and we stay there all day. It's one of those events where you actually meet your neighbors and make friends. It's awesome. April through October, the Sunday Farmers Market takes over downtown. And it's not just your basic produce, though that's awesome too. You're getting artisan bread, homemade sauces, local honey, local farm-raised eggs, all that good stuff. People like me make it their Sunday morning ritual. Coffee, farmers market, and the weekend right. And winter, Frankfort doesn't just hibernate. They've got this fire and ice winter social with chili cook-offs and ice sculpting. It's wild to see what these artists can do with a block of ice. It's how this town takes these brutal Midwest winters and actually makes them fun. And the decorations for the holidays are incredible. Summer's packed too. Car shows that draw crowds from all over, live concerts where families spread out with blankets and snacks, and movies in the park that kids absolutely love. These events have become a big part of what makes Frankfort feel like more than just a place to live. It is a real community. These events aren't just random things on a calendar. They're the heartbeat of Frankfort. They're how you go from being new in town to being part of the community. And that matters a ton when you're choosing a place to live. But let's be real. For a lot of families, the number one reason they're moving to Frankfort has nothing to do with these events. It's all about the schools. So let's talk about those next. Here's a fact for you. Frankfort's home to one of Illinois' top 50 high schools. No surprise there. This area is known for its standout schools. For a lot of families, that's the #1 reason they move here. Most Frankfort kids go to Lincoln Way East High School. It's part of the Lincoln Way Community High School District 210. The school consistently ranks among the best in the state for academics, but it's not just about test scores. Their extracurriculars are next level, especially their music and arts program that clean up at the state competitions. And the football program? The Lincoln Way East Griffins are legendary. Multiple state championships. Friday night games are a whole thing. The entire community shows up. It's that classic American high school experience that you see in the movies. For the younger kids, schools like Chelsea Intermediate and Hickory Creek Middle School are just as impressive. Strong STEM programs, great language arts, and excellent music. I've had so many clients tell me that their kids transition super easily, with teachers who really care and communicate well with parents. Quick pro tip though, always double check the exact school boundaries for any house that you're looking at. School zones don't perfectly match village boundaries, so you want to be 100% sure which schools serve your specific address. The quality of these schools shows in the results. Tons of kids go on to great colleges, active parent groups, solid funding for both academics and extracurriculars. I always tell my clients to do their own research on schools because every kid has different needs, but I can't tell you how many families that come to me and say, we're only looking in Frankfort because of the schools. They're that good. Now for the part nobody loves talking about, but you absolutely need to know. How much does all this awesomeness cost? Let's break down Frankfort's cost of living. Okay, I have to say, living in Frankfort costs about 28% more than the national average. But here's the thing, almost everyone I work with says it's worth every penny. I always shoot straight with my clients about costs because you've got to be realistic about your budget. The overall cost index for Frankfort is 128 compared to the national average of 100. That's a big jump, and it's mainly because of housing. But you need to understand what you're getting for that money, right? Let me rip off the Band-Aid and talk about property taxes. Illinois has crazy high property taxes. If you're watching this, you probably already know that. There's just no way around it. In Frankfort, you're looking at 2 to 3% of your home's value every year. So for a $500K home, that's about $10,000 to $12,500 annually just in property taxes. Boo! I've had clients from places like Texas or Florida practically fall out of their chairs when they hear those numbers. But here's what I tell them. Those taxes are about funding those amazing schools that we just talked about. Plus, it's all the services that keep Frankfort so nice. It's a huge trade-off, but one many families are willing to make. If you're paying $12,500 a year for taxes and the schools are terrible, it makes no sense. But here, they're some of the best in the country. And here's something hardly anyone thinks about until they move in: water. Most Frankfort homes use community wells, not Lake Michigan water. Not a big deal, but you'll need water softeners. That's about $1,000 to $2,000 to install in your house if it doesn't already have one, plus ongoing maintenance with salt. That looks like this. Once a month, I dump a bag of salt into my water softener. Pretty simple. Day-to-day expenses like groceries and restaurants are a bit above average, but not crazy. Grocery prices at Mariano's or Jewel or Meijer are pretty much what you pay in Chicago. I know people that move here from more affordable areas, and what I consistently hear is that yes, it costs more, but the quality of life, especially for families with kids, makes it well worthwhile. Now, one more thing about costs. If you're commuting to Chicago, factor in gas, tolls, and car maintenance. You're only going to hit tolls if you go on 294, so you're probably not going to worry about that, but definitely factor in gas and maintenance. Some folks take the Metro line from nearby towns like Mokina or New Lenox, or Tinley Park, which has its own costs but can be cheaper than driving every day. So now you know what it costs to live here, but what exactly are you getting for your money in the housing market? Let's check that out. Frankfort's housing market is still very hot in 2025, with everything from cute historic places downtown to big new construction. I've closed a bunch of deals here, and I can tell you firsthand, good houses move very fast when they're priced right. As of April 2025, the numbers look like this. For a single family home, you're looking at around $535,000 for a median price. That typically gets you 4 beds, 2.5 baths, and about 2,500 to 3,000 square feet, and a nice yard. If you're cool with a condo or townhome, the median drops to about $350K, which is a lot more doable for many buyers. New construction is booming in certain areas, with homes running from $600,000 to $900,000 depending on size, finishes, location, all that stuff. These newer homes usually have those open floor plans that everyone wants, high ceilings, and all the modern bells and whistles. What's really cool about Frankfort is how each neighborhood has its own vibe. Homes near downtown tend to be older with tons of character and details you just can't get in new construction. The lots are smaller, but you can walk into restaurants and shops. Head over to Route 30 and you'll find the newer developments with bigger lots, usually a quarter to half acre. These neighborhoods often have community pools, walking trails, little parks. They're perfect for families who want more space but still want that neighborhood feel. If you want to live in the downtown Frankfort neighborhood, so anything within a 5 to 10 minute walk to downtown, the price point skyrockets. Homes there sell immediately and for top dollar. It's very cutthroat because the location is impeccable. It's definitely still a seller's market there. Well-maintained, properly priced homes typically sell within a few weeks, sometimes with multiple offers. And one thing that surprises people is how many different styles of homes there are. Frankfort isn't one of those suburbs where every house looks exactly the same. You'll find craftsman homes, modern farmhouses, traditional colonials, all kinds of stuff. It gives the neighborhoods character and lets you find something that matches your style. For resale value, Frankfort has historically held strong even when the market dips elsewhere, and that's going on currently. The schools and community amenities help keep values stable. That doesn't mean prices never go down, but they have in the last decade, and the area tends to bounce back faster than other suburbs. All right, let's wrap this up with some real talk. The good, the bad, and everything in between about living in Frankfort. Here's the thing. Every suburb has stuff that's great and stuff that's not so great. I'm going to give it to you straight because that's what I do with all my clients. On the awesome side, those schools we talked about are top-notch. If you've got kids or are planning to have them, the education here is seriously impressive. That's why me and my wife moved here. I've had clients who zeroed in on Frankfort solely because of school ratings, and they've been thrilled with the results. That downtown area is another massive plus. So many suburbs are just endless subdivisions with maybe a strip mall, but Frankfort has a real center to it. I had clients who moved from a suburb with no downtown, and they tell me it's completely changed how they enjoy the weekends and the evenings. The parks and outdoor stuff make Frankfort perfect for active families. Between Commissioners Park, the Old Plank Road Trail, and all the neighborhood parks, there's always somewhere to get outside. Being around 30 miles from Chicago is that sweet spot, far enough to escape the chaos, but close enough when you need it. A lot of people work hybrid now, so going to the city 2 to 3 days a week, it's pretty doable. Now for the not so great stuff. Those property taxes we talked about are no joke. I've had clients who loved a house but ultimately decided the tax bill was just not in their budget. It's a very personal decision based on your finances and what matters to you. The limited public transportation is definitely a downside too. Unlike some northern and western suburbs that have the metro stations right into town, Frankfort residents need to drive to Mokina or New Lenox or Tinley Park to catch the train to Chicago. So you definitely need a car to live here. The housing costs can be a barrier for some people. With median home prices around $530,000, Frankfort is tougher for first-time buyers or folks with tighter budgets compared to some other southwest suburbs, and those harsh Midwest winters. The village is great about plowing, but winter driving and shoveling are just a part of the life here. And finally, the traffic on LaGrange Road during rush hour can be a real pain in the butt. The main shopping areas get super backed up, especially between 4 to 6 p.m. on the weekdays. You'll learn the back roads and timing pretty quickly, but it's definitely annoying. I've had clients weigh these factors totally differently. One family was fine with higher taxes to get to schools, while others decided to look in neighboring towns for something more affordable. It really comes down to what matters most to your lifestyle. After all this info, you might be wondering if Frankfort is the right fit for you and your family. So what's the bottom line on Frankfort? It's a place that somehow feels both small town and modern at the same time. The schools are fantastic, the community is super tight-knit, and the neighborhoods are beautiful, all within a decent reach of Chicago. At the end of the day, it all depends on what you want and what you're willing to spend. If you're thinking about moving to Frankfort or any other suburb for that matter, shoot me an email at john@cintagerealestate.com to get started. I've helped over 100 families buy and sell around here, and I'd love to help you too. All my contact information is in the description below. And before you go, don't miss this next video up here. Packed with info you'll want if you're serious about making a move. I'll see you there.